morning. Hello, Margaret. I see you're in there. That is wonderful. Good to see you. Just take just a few moments. Okay, I see a few more people. Great. So, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with the Black Swamp Medium. And it's good to have you here. I'm looking forward to sharing some things. I'm currently waiting for my, sorry, this is going to be fun because interesting. Sorry, guys. That was fun. That'll be interesting. Good morning, Dennis. I will. I will share what that was right there. Um, okay. Uh, that's most interesting. I'm going to keep repeating myself a bunch of times. So, anyway, uh, my guest is having just a touch of some internet issues, so that's okay because I can kind of um, uh, talk about a few things that have happened this week, and even then, the big thing will be what when I bring her on, we'll share. And so, uh, these, interesting week. I mean, obviously there was a lot going on, and some fun things for me, is gosh, I don't even know how to really bring it's so weird. You know, you, you think about the things that are going on, and then you try to include things. Um, so yes, I do see my guest has just jumped into the green room, so that's a good sign. So, um, before I bring her on, if she isn't frozen again, which maybe she just did, so I can see her off camera. So there she goes. It looks like she's moving again on her side. So as she's shaking her head at me in the green room. So we'll see. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But anyway, yeah. So fun week. One thing I want to share real quickly was that I think it was Monday. There was multiple things that happened, but I think one of the fun things that I enjoyed was, hi, good morning, Tina. That I did my morning prayers. I already did it this morning, but I went outside, and just the quick version of it was that I was. Uh, doing my things, and then I could feel, an icy cold hand, uh, grab my hand, and it just kind of took me back because it was kind of relevant to a lot of things that have been going on, especially with my guest. Hey, Jeff, good morning. So, uh, we'll talk about this because there's a lot of things, including, the wording that's behind me that you guys see. So hopefully that this will all start to make sense with you all. Hey, good morning, Nancy. Good to see you. And so I'm going to bring my guest on. So she's going to have to perk up a little bit and smile and look lovely as ever, even though she doesn't believe me when I tell her this, but it, it is what it is. But hey, good morning, Chuck. Good to see you, man. Thank you. So I'm going to bring my good friend, one that I kind of had to secretly talk about because I always feel weird if I'm going to throw their name out there in one of my posts. I never know if they're going to, like that or not. So I always just kind of say, friend, good friend, somebody acquainted with me, that sort of thing. So, but I want to bring on my good friend, Jennifer Passavant.
Good morning. I'm not frozen.
Oh, you're not.
Let's see how long it takes before my internet kicks me off again.
And Jennifer.
Holy crap. Was that from this morning?
Yes, just as I was lighting the show.
Oh my gosh. This is amazing.
In my, somewhat forehead, you can see something flailing and flapping. It's, and I'm going to put that right over here on the keyboard. That was what I was fishing out of the Air Force, so that's why I was doing this. I wasn't just losing my mind. I was actually going after something to try to grab it.
I mean, you are, but that's besides the point.
Right. And, what are you going to do? I mean, hey, Ron, what's happening? So, yes, to kind of back up, there was, I mean, for months, Jennifer and I will be like, I think officially friends in March for a full year. So it's weird that it feels like we've been longer, but it was in March was the last time we actually saw each other because that was Kathy's event.
I
It
thought
was,
that was January.
I swore it was March.
It was January.
It, maybe it was. Okay. Well, January, February, March, one of the months, you know, we're not, it doesn't matter. We're not counting, right? I
Right.
mean,
No, it
because
was January.
we do. We absolutely feel like we've been around and we've known each other a lot longer than even a simple year. So,
Yep.
hey, good morning, Rhonda. So, uh, I had some burning questions for Jennifer, and I just told her she was like the person that I'm like, you know what? I know she's not gonna like judge me, which nobody would, but I know she's gonna be like, hey, what's going on? But I said, I got some questions. There's some things that not only her, because she's a part of a show on Mondays called The Hearts of Collective Change, which I've been a guest on. So that's been awesome. And that's a great show. So if you guys have not checked it out, please go over to her page, their page, and like it. I will, we will plug Jennifer stuff here. In fact, I can do that as we're speaking. So um, it's one of those things that like I said, I had these questions and I wanted to know about some of the particular, um, and I'll say characters because this is the same sort of thing that I said to Jennifer last weekend. I said, I'm going to call them characters, not from like a disrespect page, but it was just like, there's a lot of them. I mean, how do you really want to call them? I mean, we can call them whatever you want, but I just like characters because it sounded, more down to like for my level where I'm not like I don't have all these fancy terms and things that I know. But so so I said I got to talk, and I didn't tell her what it was because I wanted to wait until we got on the phone. So I kept everything quiet. So when I got on the phone with her, then that's when all this fun stuff started to happen. So the first thing that happened was hey, how you doing? The normal jazz that everybody does. Then I said, before I can even say anything, I think you were making some noise and I was kind of doing some noise. And I think you said, oh, I'm sorry if you hear that, I'm just folding laundry. And I said, you're kidding me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm folding laundry. So, like, right out of the gate, we're already like, that's kind of weird. Hey, good morning, Rodney. Good morning, everybody. So we're like, okay, that's weird. Why are we okay? That's fine. We are good at we accept these kind of things, right? I mean, I know you do.
I'm sharing the crap out of this, so
Oh,
forgive
okay.
me. Okay, go ahead.
But so that was right out, like I said, right away. And then I don't think anything happened right then and there, but I think it was once we
No.
started talking,
Yep.
which is interesting because of the things I was asking about. And so again, there's her, Kathy, Bonnie, and so many others, use a lot of the different archangels that are out there. And there was some I've never heard of. And I was just like, you hear of a couple of them, but there were so many there. I'm like, I played it off like I could. Yeah, yeah, no big deal, because they talk about them all the time. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, good morning, Susie. So I finally said, I'm like, okay, who's I can't even do it because it's too funny now thinking about it. Who's Megatron?
Well, Megatron. Yeah, you said
I
Megatron.
did, which I thought was hilarious. But I was starting to, think of, cartoons and that's because that's when I first heard. I'm like, sounds like Megatron, like the bad guy from Transformers,
Which is cool
right?
because
I,
Transformers. I mean,
I guess he's loaded with a lot of things that he can do, right?
true.
So, but we won't dive into that today as far as like all the definition because we would be here, we would be here for almost over an hour like we
Oh
were
my
on the
god.
phone.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I was asking about, and she was running through and doing her best thing, and even then she was telling me some books to check out, which I am doing. But again, as we were talking, so we said we were talking about archangels, and at some point during the conversation. Well, no, I think what were we doing? Was it the numbers that came up first, or was it the feathers?
Uh,
Trying to remember which part came up because I didn't write them down in order. I just kind
I
of wrote
don't,
a cheat sheet.
I don't remember if it was the feather or was it the red-tailed hawk bit?
That might have been. Right.
Crap, I can't remember which. We
Yeah.
had so much go on that
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened first, but it was an enormous amount of synchronicities.
Hey, Brandy. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Greg. And yeah. Well, anyway, but so not that it really matters on the order because again, they just kept popping in
Yeah.
constantly. but we were talking about stuff, and the angels, I think, was the obviously the bulk of our conversation. And I was I got done folding my laundry, and she was, telling me, talking about some stuff, and I just happened to be walking towards my closet just to put some of my stuff in there. And as I'm walking, I get close to the window. There's enough sunlight that were light just in general that was coming in, and also I see something floating, and I stopped dead. And she was like, "Are
That's
you
when I
okay?"
got the tingles. I
Yes.
didn't say anything, but I'd
Yeah.
gotten the tingles, and you're like, oh my God.
And, and so, sure enough, just like how this show started, a feather started falling in front of me. And
Yeah.
she thought something like we like disconnected and stuff like that. And she's like, "Okay, I got yeah." She said, "I got the tingles." Whoa.
Yep. That's the angel tingles. I call them the angel tingles. And I
Hmm.
know that that happened after the red-tailed hawk bit
Right.
because I was in here in my office getting the totem book to
Hmm.
look up red-tailed hawk.
Right. Right. And so, okay, so again, we were doing the same chore as we're talking to each other. Now we're talking about angels. Feathers are starting to appear. What what was after that? Um,
At some point, the numbers happened, but
the
I remember during our conversation, though, I think the numbers may have happened. I think the numbers happened after we were done talking, after our call got disconnected.
right.
But
Oh,
we started talking about, you were talking about red-tailed hawks and how you have this gift of being able to just know when they're around and look and see hawks, but
mhm,
particularly red-tailed hawks. And I'm on the other end going, oh, holy shit.
mhm,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh. And you're like, I can tell you're like, yeah, this is really interesting. It's not that interesting, but it's interesting, you know, not knowing why I'm holy crapping everything you're saying.
mhm,
But it was because I have that same gift. And I got it from my dad. My mom would call my dad Hawkeyes because he could just hawk. And I've got that same gift. And so it's weird that we've got that same gift, and the red-tailed hawk is both of our one of our totems.
right, right. Yeah, because we were talking about how, it's just you just know where they are, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Even this week, I was driving home from work, and I remember messaging you when I got home. I'm like, that no, it was the
Yep.
same day. You saw it
I
flying, and
saw
I
one.
saw one that was like, "Hey, look over here," and it was in the tree.
Yeah.
So same day, we're seeing the
I
same
think
thing,
it was. If it wasn't the same day, it was near
day
the
apart
I
or
think it
something.
was the same day.
Yep,
It's just
yep, yep. And then let's see, uh, what was it? Oh, I found my notes. We were talking, yeah, the photos. What photos were we talking about? Was it just the must was that the red tail?
you were talking about photos of the levels,
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah,
spiritual levels.
yeah, the shamanic spiritual levels and things like that.
Yep.
Yep, and it was just like it was all kinda keying in and cluing into everything we were talking about, and, um oh,
I'm cheating and I'm looking at our messages to see if it
right,
hint
yeah,
what how we talked about when.
and then, my friend Margaret, she just wrote a question. She says, "How do we know what some of our totems are?"
Oh, they'll let you know. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to. I mean, first ask like, if you're my totem, please let me know. Oftentimes they'll come when you need them and not when you like ask for a call. So my power totem I was told about, but then showed himself to me while I was making cookies of all things. Or no, I was making truffles of all things. In my mind's eye, all of a sudden a male lion went rah right in my face, and I went like this. Um, but he's my power totem, which is
Mhm.
the totem that is with you from birth to death. And then your journey totems will show up just when you need them without you even asking. And so like I've got the red-tailed hawk, I've got the screech owl, the great horned owl, the snowy owl, the cent or the millipede. The
Mhm.
millipede is one of my totems. Yeah, it was
Wow.
weird. The
That's
owl came, like, you can't not know when your totem comes because they'll come out of the woodwork. So, like,
yeah.
with the owl, there was an owl on TV. Somebody brought an owl up in conversation that same day. then like the next day I was given a card that had an owl on it. Then I picked up a magazine and read an article that had that was about owls. Like I opened up the magazine to the page of owls. And then I heard an owl outside, and it was like all within the like a few days. And I'm like, I guess you're trying to tell me something, like hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And the same thing with the millipede. It was like I saw a millipede on a tree. There was I was in the hospital for a family friend, and on TV popped up something about millipedes on some nature show, and then somebody later that day brought them up in conversation. It was just like, oh, okay, now I gotta look up what millipede means. So it's like, you'll know, they'll show up when you need them. But if you want to know them, ask, but then don't expect like a roll call of, they'll come as needed, not necessarily when you want them to, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I should say they're always there, but they won't make themselves known. Let me put it that way.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I mean, because they basically, it's not like they're going to be ringing your front doorbell,
right.
know.
Right.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times too, even for me, that they show up, even like out of the random. Maybe you're just having an off moment or something like that. Even though doesn't hurt to call in them to say, hey, can you give me a little? I know you're there. Could you just, give me a little sign just to say, hey, it's just, but. And even then, sometimes it's they do that. They'll do reminders, and like us with the red-tailed hawk, it's so strange that when you're driving and all of a sudden you feel this pull, and you look, and there it is. And it's the weird thing is that's the one thing you find out of everything else that's going on while driving on a highway.
Yes,
you're gonna find a red-tailed hawk just sitting there. Hey, how's it going?
And it's even fun when you get like. If you're driving a long ways and you get like 13 of them and you're like, point taken, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And with red-tailed hawks, according to the Ted Andrews book, they're one of the totems when they show up as a journey totem, they're with you for life. And so that's why people like us who, when they come into our lives and make themselves known, then we just always see them after a while. And it's like, yeah, they do that reminder of, hi, we're here, we're still with you, and pay attention to what we're doing, because that has to do with, one of the things we're letting you know. Cardinals, I know what they're supposed to be, Blue Jays and Wolves.
That's what, yeah. So she says she gets Cardinals and then Blue Jays and Wolves, but she knows what the Cardinals are all about. That is awesome. Yep. Yes, and this was a book that she highly recommends, Animal Speak by Ted Andrews.
Yes, because it has all of those in it. And then he's got another one that's a little harder to find, but it's got some of the animals and bugs and things that aren't in the Animal Wise. Yes, Animal Wise. But I highly recommend them. So that way when they do show up, you can look up what they mean, and they often have multiple meanings, so then you can look up what it might mean specifically for you in that moment.
Gotcha. Hang tight a second, getting rid of some garbage.
Okay. Taking out the trash.
Well, that's funny because I was watching another thing, and same thing, same kind of garbage just showed up. So
no.
I don't get it too often, but every now and then it does show up. So I am getting rid of that. So guys, forget what you saw there because I've just taken care of it.
Pictures that you were showing me, pictures of what we think might be the Cooper's hawk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm cheating, and I'm looking at our text messages.
Yep. Oh, and I do remember one thing. Actually, I remember what started it all was that. So I sent you Sunday morning. I was like, I forgot to hit you up Saturday saying, hey, just to double check and then, clarify a time on Sunday. And I sent you the Facebook message, and then for whatever reason, when you wrote back, it never alerted me. It never popped up. Nothing. Not even the app showed, the red, one on it. It was like nothing. And I'm like, it's odd. And then finally, somebody else sent me a message. It alerts me, and you're there. And then we get to showtime. I was like, hey, I'm good to go. Nothing. Somebody texts me, and then I see that your message is there. Never alerted me. I'm like, we are going to talk. There is no doubt about it. I'm not going to let somebody stop me.
What's happening?
So,
yep. Did you know that when you messaged me on Sunday to say that you were ready to talk, you messaged me at 1:11?
I think I remember that.
I didn't notice that until right now as I'm cheating.
Well, then let's transfer into the numbers because
Okay.
we've had so many numbers. Not only then,
Uh-huh. But since then,
but since so a couple of the numbers that popped up right away that day because once our phone got disconnected and stuff like it, we were messaging, geez, a couple hours.
yeah,
And one of those numbers was 333,
yes.
which is interesting
And I
because
had 33% battery then too.
right. And just so people have an understanding, I've done a little homework and have some show and tell. So watch your screens.
Ooh, fun.
So I just found some, so forget the advertising on the side, but over here in the center, I gotta find where my mouse is. So you can kind of see clearly, or yeah, angel number. Oh, wait, this is not, yeah. The other is to go down with your own strength and power. Through this number, your guardian angels want to tell you how strong and powerful you are, which I thought was fun.
I have
Another one?
a resource. Yes, I'm going to put it in the chat if you want to put it up. It's an index for all of the numbers up through 4 digits.
Yes.
And I keep that on my phone so that if someone's asking about a number, or if I see a number, because I don't always see triple digits that are like the same. Sometimes I see 4, 5, 6, or
Right.
1, 2, 3, or I see any combination of 2 and 4. So I'll see 34, 3, 4, 432, and so I look it up.
Yep. This is another number that we have seen constantly this week.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly. The one day I was getting ready for work and I just happened to pass the microwave, clock, and it was 444. Immediately grab my phone. I do a screenshot and I'm like, I'm going to send it to Jen later on. Then come to find out when I get home from work, I get changed. I'm about ready to send her the message. So it's on my mind to do it.
Uh-huh.
It's 4:44 p.m. I did another screenshot and then I send them both going, how about this one today?
Yep.
And you have had the same thing.
Yes, even the day that we talked, because like I said, I'm cheating. I saw 333, and then I saw 444. You saw, hello. Oh, you sent those to me in Messenger. Then you saw the 2 444s, and I think I saw, what the hell did I see? It was just weird because I was seeing the 1111. I see a lot of 1212 or 1221s. And then 333 and 444. And at one point I saw 555, which is about change. 555
Right.
is about change.
Right. And this is the link that Jen just sent me. So if you guys ever want to take a look at this.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. We saw 1, 2, 3, 4.
4, yeah.
We kept seeing 444 on the same day. Was it yesterday that we saw it at the same time and we both messaged each other at the exact same time? 444.
So, but that's what makes it interesting. I mean, this is hey Jeremy. So in after Sunday, I mean, when this stuff continued to happen, I'm like, what? I seriously, this, it's one thing to have maybe one, two things, again, like what I'm saying, it's synchronized with each other, not like we're purposely doing it. It's just happening. But it's amazing that when it continues to happen, I've said it many times to her offline. I'm like, okay, what is going on between us that all this is happening? And a lot of these numbers do pop up and they're, hey, Tim, that they do, have like, being creative and moving forward and creating, being productive and things. So a lot of it makes sense because we both are in that position right now.
Yep.
We're both trying to, do better what we love to do. This, metaphysical things, holistic things. I mean, this is like our passions. So these numbers, when the angels come through and archangels come through, I mean, they really do kind of reaffirm. Sometimes it's a little bit of a poke. You need to get moving because this is the right time for it, and gosh, it just, and you can't help but be like, okay, got it. Yep. And you kind of know what you need to do because it's been there. You just now need to implement it. So,
Yep. And sometimes it's, depending on who you are and what your relationship is with the angelic realm, it can be a, hey, we love you. You can ask us for help. We can't do anything until you ask. So just remind that we're here. So you
Hmm.
can ask for frigging help. You don't have to feel like you're doing this by yourself.
Right.
So I think for those of us who know they're there, it's more of stuff's going to happen. Get ready. It's going to be time for you to take action soon. And for others, it's, we love you. We're here. Because a lot of people forget to ask. They just think they're going to swoop in and do whatever without asking. And that's not how the law of free will works. You have to ask for
Right.
intervention. And for others, it's that they assume that angels are like humans, where we're bound by space and time, and it looks and feels, not really, but it looks and feels like I'm sitting here in my bedroom and that's the only place that I am. That's not true, but that's what it looks and feels like, because that's what the third dimension is, right? Or third density is.
Hmm.
And so they assume that angels must be the same way,
Hmm.
that you can't ask for help because then you're taking them away from helping somebody else. And that's not how it works. They're multidimensional. They're not bound by time and space. They can be anywhere, everywhere at all the time. And so they can be in multiple places
Hmm.
all the time. And so people just don't ask.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, I've talked about it before and I posted about it. I mean, a lot of people that, just want to know who their guides are, or
Mhm.
even then, who's your, spirit totems, or, you know, as simple as just saying, "Hey, who's with me?" And it's not, don't do it in a timid fashion, but you're curious. Who's with me? Can you give me some sort of a sign? And always remember that those signs aren't always they're not going to be like a big they're right there in your face,
Right.
It
Right.
it might be a feather, it might be a number, it might be, maybe a song you hear on the radio that represents something that like maybe you had a family member that passed away and that song is like your song together.
Yeah.
So you really got to be, you have to change the way your awareness has to change when you
Yes.
want to hear those things, because hearing it's not just audibly. Hearing it is gonna be like what you're gonna feel it, but you're gonna absorb it. It's gonna you're gonna know things, like you'll know when something's by you, and you'll
Yeah.
feel the love, and you're not gonna feel worried or scared or anything like that. But
Yeah. I tend to feel what I call angel tingles. And I get that a lot too if there's like things being affirmed for me. Like if I think something might be true, and I use the word true very loosely, but when it's true for me, they'll affirm it by giving me what I call the angel tingles. And that's how I can say, okay, then I'm going to go with that because they just affirmed for me that that is my truth. Um, and I think like you kind of change your awareness, because people do tend to have that expectation of, I want to see them in front of my face. I want to hear their voice and I want to know their name.
mhm.
A, they don't have names. They have to give themselves names for humans because humans have to name everything, like mouse, bottle. We have to name everything. So angels will give themselves names for the sake of humans who have to name frigging everything, right?
Right.
Two, if your gifts have not opened up to where you're able to hear anybody, don't expect that that's how they'll have to, because they have to alter their energy in order to make themselves known to you. And sometimes that can mean lowering their vibration to meet you where you are. If you're here because you haven't worked on raising your vibration, that's hard for them. So let them come for them
Mhm.
to communicate with you.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? I was going to try to work in a D for A2 and D, but I can't figure it out. But oh
That's
well.
okay.
Anyway,
It's okay.
it's going to make the joke, but I can't make the joke.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah. Margaret was saying, does that count when a song gets stuck in your head?
It can, yeah. It depends on the song. Like if you just heard the song, the other day and it pops back in your head, no, because you know where you got that song. But
Right.
if a song shows up out of the blue and repeats and there's a certain line from the song, listen to the line. What meaning could that have for you? And it
Right.
may not mean anything now, but could it mean something later? So just pay attention to it. So
Yep.
yeah, it totally can.
And I like the fact that sometimes for me, when it could be, weeks or months, maybe even a year or so that I haven't heard a song,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden it's like you're just you got to hear it, you got to feel it, and for whatever reason, when you finally do pop it in there, you feel like you're receiving something along with it,
Oh my God.
regardless of the style of music. But
Yes.
there's something that you're getting from it that's on a deeper level. I guess that's a good way to look at it.
I call it soul food. I've had that where I'll play a song, I'll feel like a need to particular song, like you said, that I haven't listened to it in years or whatever, and I'll play it, and it's like something in my energy needs whatever energy is in the song.
Mhm.
I will play that song on repeat, and it is feeding my soul, and I'll just feel really good listening to it. And I can do that for like a week
Yeah.
until I no longer feel like I need it, and I just don't play it anymore. But I know that I got what I needed out of it.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I call that soul food music. And it's weird when it happens because then you're like a song addict because you're just playing that one song on fucking repeat. But it
Right. Right.
but it works.
Right. Hey, our friend Bonnie's is watching.
Hi Bonnie, I love you.
She's great.
Yes, she is.
Um, but yeah, well, so let's do this because I want to make sure everybody that in case people got to get going or something like that, I want to,
Sure.
focus, on who, what you do. I mean, I have, some show and tell as well to bring up for everybody, but tell everybody what you do and what you offer.
Yeah. So I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach. I'm an energy healing practitioner, and I'm a channel for the divine. I particularly work with Kuan Yin and a seraphim angel who calls in for my sake, because angels don't have names. He's actually an ascended Arcturian. And so I had to learn that angels aren't necessarily always how shall I say this? Angels aren't always what we think they are, and you can be an angelic being but also be an ascended star being.
Mhm.
So there we go. I had to learn that. That was a thing. That's a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. So thank you, Ian. I work with lots of different divine energies and entities, but those are the two that have made themselves known to be that I namely channel when I do my energy healing. And then I also work with the Hearts of Change Collective. Bonnie is a member. I love Bonnie. If you don't know who Bonnie Bird is, you got to check out Bonnie Bird. And then Kathleen Sherman. And so we get together usually Mondays, and we'll either come on and just shoot the crap, the three of us, talk about the energies. We might do group healings where we have on, like we've had you on and a bunch of other healers to come on and do group healings for the collective and people who are watching. But most of the time we bring on other light workers to feature them because we feel they're someone who deserves to have a greater audience because of what they're doing for the world. So check out Hearts of Change Collective, like it. Yeah, that's it.
And it's fantastic. I mean, I try to catch it every single week because sometimes I forget that you go live and I'm not like looking at my phone real quick, and it's like right when I'm sitting down to eat dinner, I'm like, oh, I'm throwing some earbuds in, and I'm kind of got it down next to me as I'm stuff in my face. So so you get in there. And then I like to get in, I mean, I love to get in there and ask questions and things. So then I'm like typing and eating at the same time.
Which we appreciate. We love when you show up, and we can't wait to have you back on the show.
Yeah, it's oh my god. Yeah, it's fun. And so yeah, you definitely want to check that out. I do want to throw up this lovely thing. It's her website. So you guys can take a look at that as far as reading everything about her and what she offers and how much it costs. So you guys can get a quick snapshot of that right now.
You can
Let me
totally tell I did that by myself because I don't know what I'm
hey
doing.
hey it works.
I'm not
It
a
works.
website.
Like I said, it works. So just to
It,
give you guys a few things.
it's functional. It's functioning. So
And that's okay. And then let's go over to her page, her Facebook page. Get out of the way. Stop it. We keep popping up on the screen. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
Mine and then you. So come over here, like her page. So good stuff.
Thank
But
you so much for having me on. This was a
yeah,
blast.
I know, and we still got about 25 minutes, so we can still
Oh, good.
chat some
I
more.
thought we were ending. I'm like,
No, no,
oh,
no. I just wanted to make sure people that because
oh,
some people got to get going. Oh no, no, we're good for a little bit.
oh, thank God. Okay, good.
There's so many people that obviously they're either still waking up and groggy, and so
Like me.
um, well, right, yeah. I, shockingly, I got up after 5 today, so I mean, it was like
Ugh,
okay, I guess my day's starting. So
I'm sorry.
I will get a nap in today because there's a private investigation tonight, so I will need my rest. So I got some work to do tonight.
Ooh,
Yes.
cool.
So I'm excited because there was a few. I saw a couple people that are involved, in the team and stuff. So we will be hanging out later this evening together. So, but I can't share much about that because it's a private thing. It's not the old mill, which most people are accustomed to. But that's one thing real quickly, not to take away from Jennifer real quick, but yeah, the old mill is we're firing up, we're starting to get rolling. So I mean, if there's groups out there, if there's any paranormal investigators, we will be starting to come up with some dates for public investigations, limited spacing and all that stuff. So I mean, we have to kind of lower the amount of people that can be in, but that's okay. So that's picking up, and then we're going to try to do some other events this year because just like most businesses and things, the old mills could use a few extra bucks to kind of keep those doors and lights on, doors open, lights on, type of thing. So we want to do whatever we can to have more people come out, and who knows, maybe there's a way to do a live show there or something like that. It's something that we may consider. So we'll see. You know, but yeah, that's kind of fun.
That would be cool if you could do that. That'd be really
Yeah. And the interesting thing is actually I can bring up a couple points in one of these, Jennifer, you will like.
aliens.
No, no, not quite aliens. But
I
it
mean,
would
that is
be
cool, but no, go ahead.
because I don't think the Hearts of Change Collective is doing this. And so I was passed this information on, and I officially signed up yesterday for it because the magic word is free. So these shows that I'm doing right now, I'm trying this out to see if it helps me out. Again, trying to move forward, trying to expand a little bit more. So, people have heard of podcasting, correct? Yes. Well, you can take these shows because people do them in different forms. So, like you guys do it through Zoom, I do it through StreamYard. So, there's a couple things. The cool thing about it is you can take uh, the recordings of it. I can I take just the audio of it. I can upload it to a site that then distributes it for you.
Is it Podbean? Which
An-
one is it?
Anchor FM.
Oh, yes, I'm on Anchor.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
See,
do anything with it because I suck big time at it.
I
I
did not know
I got
about
as
it.
far as being on it.
I didn't know about it, so I uploaded last week's episode, and I definitely will be uploading this week's because
Nice.
it's just another way and to get out to some of the podcasting sites. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to jump over there and see how it works. I mean, I'm gonna push it a little bit and see if it's worth my time. But
cool.
with it being free, I mean, hey,
I know. That was my thought too.
hey, why not? And so I didn't know about it. I mean, it was something I was thinking about this year too, is just to figure out how to do some podcasting. You
Yeah,
know, whether it's just recording a show, offline and then just dumping it there. But this
yeah.
is cool that I can just take the audio side of these and then just dump it over.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about that. But there still might be some things I will do. I would like to just kind of throw some in there. I mean, I did some YouTube videos. Now it's been forever, but I used to like doing the YouTube videos, for like 7 to 10 minutes and talk about a topic of choice. And so it'd be another avenue.
That'll be cool. I'm
Yes.
excited for you.
So yeah, so that'll be kind of fun. So
I keep telling myself I got to do the same thing, and I keep not doing it.
well, these numbers keep popping in there. You're going to get a bigger nudge after a while,
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I
But
know.
yeah, so it's kind of cool, and there's opportunities for sponsorships and things that again, you know, you can help put a few bucks to kind of pay for some of the equipment and things like that to kind of keep it going. So
Mhm.
there's some cool things. So for those that are interested, you can always look that up. So it's Anchor, F as in Frank, and M is in Mary, so Frank FM. So you guys can take a look at that. And if you got to sign up, like I said, it's free and things like that. But I
Mhm.
got it all set last night, so I was pretty stoked about it. So, um, what was else I gonna say? Is there something else? It probably I probably was talking. I don't remember what I was thinking. Get that one.
Doesn't happen to anybody else. You're totally unique in that.
Right. Well, that's the fun part of me because it's supposed to be just this is the I think that's maybe that's what I was thinking when I created this Saturday morning show. It's the fact that if I forget something, well, it's early. I've only I'm working on
Right?
cup number two, but I forget. I can't be in trouble, right?
Accurate. Correct. Correct.
And so, Jen, obviously, with COVID and things like that, do you have any upcoming events or anything that, is maybe like some maybes that you might be involved with or,
I was going to do a show or an event, a fair that Kathy Sherman was putting on in Richland to do mini healings, but it got moved to March, which I think is perfect because the weather will be better. I think
right,
how shall I put this? The atmosphere, just the global atmosphere will hopefully be better in March. It just feels like that's the right time. So I will be doing that. I think it's March 13th in Richland.
cool.
We'll be doing a Hearts of Change Collective interview on Monday. My brain just went, huh? With
See?
who we're doing. So
It's
go
early.
to
It's
the
early.
Hearts of Change Collective page and check the events. Because I was put on the spot and my brain is not fully functioning yet. And beyond that, I'm just offering my healings and my life coaching. And for anybody wondering what in the hell an intuitive spiritual life coach is,
Mhm. Enlighten
um,
us.
I use that term versus like psychic because I don't. You can go to a psychic and be like, "Read me," right? And they'll be like, your uncle died, and I don't know, you like raisins, and I don't know, whatever. But I want to get to somebody's meat and taters. I want to help people with their life traumas, their life wounds, because it's in healing those issues and challenges that really provide spiritual forward movement, that really provide the ascension process, right? That's ascending, is working through your healing and your traumas and that kind of thing. And so instead of having people come and be like, so tell me about me, or tell me what my Uncle Bob would like for me to know. I would rather you come to me with your biggest issues and challenges so that we can work with your guides and my guides and work with you on getting over that and healing from it and getting past it, so that it's not still coming up for you as a repetitive issue. So that's why I refer to myself as a life coach, because it's like let's focus on a specific thing as opposed to read me.
Yeah. And that is important because, right, there's, you could look at some that are only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So the idea of what you and many others do is, yes, it is important to get a little bit deeper because if you can take it out at the root,
Oh,
that
yeah.
that changes a whole lot moving forward.
So much.
Mhm.
So much. When you can really be like, I'm ready to face this challenge. I'm ready to look at this issue. Look at where it came from. Look at its, like you said, the root cause, what childhood wounding and past life wounding is making up as an issue for me now, so that I can see it, look at it, and work through it
Right.
instead of, run from it, avoid it, create excuses for it, justifications for it, whatever it is.
Mhm. I like it. Yeah. I was prepping something real quickly because I thought I would do this just for those that
Step away.
haven't seen
Step
it.
away.
So,
Oh, yeah.
uh, just so people would know what they were talking about earlier, Hearts of Change Collective. So that's the page you want to go and like. So, but
And that's fun. We just go on and kind of shoot
the breeze.
everybody.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fun. It's like we're going on with our friends and chit chatting. Really,
yeah. And
it feels like to us.
well, and it's amazing because of the even just the ones I've been involved with. we show up a little early, talk for a little bit, do the show sometimes over an hour,
Oh, almost always.
and then when the show ends, there might be another 2 or 3 hours of conversations and deeper thoughts and stuff afterwards.
We're just
So
hanging. Some of it's live.
right, right. I think we joked the one time, we were like, "Boy, if we recorded this and posted, it would be a whole, like, a whole I mean, some of it's hilarious, no doubt
Oh,
about it, but even then, just some of the other conversations about topics that maybe we didn't touch or we didn't even think
sure.
about, but there has been some good conversations
There
afterward.
has been. We talk about some really fun stuff, and then, and like you said, we also act like total idiots because it's fun. I mean, we're like adult children, and be like that of a child, right? So we just get on and have fun. So
And that's important for I mean, for Hearts of Change Collective and me and Debbie and I on Wednesday nights Beyond the Silence Radio, and many others. It's you don't have to really follow a script where you're just going to go right down the list. I mean, you know, to even then just to be able to sit there and laugh or to share maybe somewhat of a personal story, but
Mhm.
you really just kind of be you. I mean, this is like if we were all sitting around a table, this is exactly what we'd be doing. We would just
Yeah.
be talking and we're not worried about, truly avoiding certain things to say and not say, but not really
There are a
still
couple things we try not to say on Hearts of Change because of
right,
censorship issues, but
right.
still.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a public thing that we have to be
Right.
somewhat careful,
But
but
beyond that,
right, right.
and we never we wing everything. We wing it. We're almost always on late. We're kind of more on European time. So we'll be on at 6, but it's more like 6, 6-ish,
Right,
near 6, kind of 6.
right.
So it's like we're just like do to do, and we just come on when we're ready. Just we'll be there. Just trust us. Just wait. We'll be there.
And yeah, yeah. If not everybody's ready, there's some type of technical glitch going on,
We're busy in the middle of a really neat conversation, and we don't want to end it yet before we go live. So
Yeah. I
it's like a whole gamut of whatever. But
Yeah. And this is the reason why we don't have expensive equipment because, then we'd have no excuse because if we were paying, thousands on top of thousands for equipment that shouldn't have an issue,
right,
you know, so
yes,
and it's always internet for the most of the part, it's always an internet, whether it's just being slow or just
right.
whatever. And then, we're freezing or stuttering or even, getting kicked out.
We boot it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
like last time,
Yeah.
constantly. Yeah,
It's always a pain in the butt.
yes, it is. Yeah, and I thought I had decent internet, but apparently not. Not apparently.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I just officially this year. I mean, I updated and because the Wi-Fi router I got from our cable provider, I think it's finally just shot because it's like it's just not happening. And the next thing I know, I bought my own and updated it, and my internet's like skyrocketed back up. So I'm like, so, if you guys notice, like if at first when you get a new Wi-Fi router, if you're running Wi-Fi, and it starts to slow down after a few years, it's probably time for a new one because,
Yeah.
you're used to one thing, it's just getting old. So yeah, the new stuff is
Yep.
making a huge difference considering I had, two kids that are sucking up the internet as well. So I mean,
Yeah. It's
I'm
probably
used to it.
time to restart. I know sometimes to resetting it, like shut it down and restart your router
Yeah.
helps. Yeah. Accurate, Bonnie. All the freaking time. It's like, is Jen gonna get kicked out today?
And she always appears. She's
Yep. And then I come back like,
hi.
I'm back.
I know that in December I was when I did this one with Tim Shaw in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes before the show ended, I literally got kicked out, like everything. I had to
I think I
reboot.
saw that.
I had to reboot, and so
I
my
like that
my
one.
buddy Tim had to end my show, but I still
Yeah.
had to go in and kill the show because it'll keep running until I hit the end button on my side.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's good in some regard that at least, the whole thing doesn't just shut down, but at
Yeah.
least but I had to sit there and pop on and everybody's like, "Hey, I'm back." And now I'm not,
Nope. Bye. Click.
so, but, um, yeah, that's awesome. So oh, go
I,
ahead.
I was gonna say I have two tangents.
Yeah, go
One,
for it.
I had a hold of that MUFON dude that you had on.
Yeah, Bill Konkoleski.
Because
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God, he's an experiencer. That's why I was like, did you get fed anything? Like, I'm like sucking up whatever he was going to say. And I was so hoping he'd tell stories. So I have to check out his books. But so I got to like blow up his inbox.
Yep.
So, because I'm an experiencer myself. But 90-degree tangent, or even 100-degree tangent. And Bonnie, if you're still watching, I kind of want you to speak to this. Is anybody feeling any like massive amounts of energy, especially around here? Because I started feeling it last night. That said, I also started taking colloidal gold last night. And it started after that. So I don't know if it's the colloidal gold or if it's me or, just energy. So anybody feeling anything, or is it the gold? Because the colloidal gold is supposed to work with like your intuition and your psychic abilities and your mental function. It's supposed to increase mental function. It's also supposed to help with like arthritis and joints and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. See, so for me, it'll be hard to determine exactly what is going on with me because, making sure I get the show set up and then I got the investigation tonight. So like, I'm like, I've got my mind everywhere. So it's possible what I'm feeling could be a little bit of what you're describing. It could be a little bit about tonight because, I do occasionally get some sensations and feelings ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
So so today's a hard one for me to answer, but I wonder if it was similar to what I had Sunday morning before we spoke, because I woke up and I was out of the gate. I mean, that was another 5 a.m. and I like jumped out of bed and I felt like I was, getting ready to run a mile at that point. So,
Bonnie.
Let's see what she says. Oh my gosh, yes. And my ears are popping and it sounds like rocks hitting together.
Okay.
Pitches. Okay.
Okay. Debbie's taking atomic ormus.
Okay.
I'm just taking colloidal gold, so I don't think it's the same thing, but I think they're supposed to kind of do the same thing. There's sense of interest. Yeah. Yes, Margaret, I have sensed that also. But thank you, Bonnie, for confirming, and maybe the colloidal gold is just enhancing that sensation, but, and I don't know if you can see, but I've got a twitch here now. That started last night too when the feeling started, and I'm like, great.
Oh,
so I'm like,
you're right.
At least that's what it feels like to me. You guys probably can't even see it, but I see it and I feel it where there's like a nerve twitch and like a muscle. It's weird.
I've kept us zoomed back, so I mean, I always do that because at least it doesn't feel like we're in there. But because I can go, and now we're up close. So.
I think I look like a Picasso. I think I look like a Picasso. I totally look like a Picasso. I look like a Picasso, Adam.
And is there anything wrong with that?
I look like a Picasso, but this is the eye where the twitch is, and it's like right around here. Huh. But then I feel this electricity all around my head, and it's just weird. It's just weird.
So I would definitely, just take notice, because whether maybe it's today or something, within the next few days. I think that's the common thing that we always know is.
I'm gonna see because I took the gold again this morning, and I'm gonna see. You guys look awesome. Thank you, Bonnie, for a Picasso. I think but I'm gonna see if it keeps happening daily, because if it does, it might just be the colloidal gold allowing me to, process more energy and stuff. But it's like a wee, like it got cranked up to 11. I swear to God.
Wow. And then so how many days have you been on it?
I started last night. I just got it in the mail last night, so I'm like opening the package.
Okay. So go. Well, okay. Do it for the 5 days. Well, here's my suggestion. Go for 5 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're still getting the same thing every day, skip one.
Yeah.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if it continues. Now, we know a lot of, medicines and herbal can stay in the system still.
Maybe I'll stop for a week.
But at least maybe throwing a skip in there to see if it changes anything, which, I mean, that's good science right there. You try to prove and disprove things.
But it's true. Yeah. It's kind of, you have to go about it with the scientific scientific.
Yeah.
But
but it's obviously, I mean, other than what the sensations are, you still, it's not horrible feeling. You don't feel like, like, oh, I hate this. It's
No, it's just
feels like, okay, stuff's happening. Okay.
it's like I stuck my brain in a light socket.
There you go.
It's kinda.
Yeah. You know, if you did that, I would be, I would have loved to see how much of your hair, how much would go, "Ah!"
Yeah, because it looks like I don't have much because it's
Right,
tightly into a bun.
right.
But I actually have a lot of hair, and it's pretty long.
You I don't know if you could get through your house then.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, no. It'd be like whiskers,
R
giant whiskers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Energy at 11.
And
There's
1.
them ones. Yep,
Yeah,
accurate, Bonnie.
yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Or Nancy. Sorry,
Nancy,
Nancy.
yep.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yes.
Debbie. I hate when that happens, with the whole lights. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a rough one for sure.
Yeah.
Not that we really wanna get well, from, an energetic, angelic, holistic, that kind of, static charge, no problem. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go for the real man-made electricity type, that's, I'd rather avoid some of that pain that can be involved with
Correct. Correct. And so when Ian wants to speak through me, or somebody of that resonance wants to speak through me, I can usually tell when there's going to be like an impromptu, "Hey, how you doing?" kind of thing.
Nice.
Um, and I didn't allow myself the time to sit and let that happen, but I felt that last night, and I still feel it.
Mhm.
And so I kind of feel like if it's not the energy, but rather the goals kind of cranking me up a bit, which is great, like cranking up my antenna a bit. I want to have a sit down for a little bit after this and just see what comes through.
Right.
Because I'm feeling that, like I can feel that. For any of you who channels, it's friggin' weird. So just so you know, it's super weird. I get the feeling where it's like somebody wants to manipulate my vocal cords, and that's how I know he wants to speak. But then I also get this, like I get enveloped with a lot of energy, and it's like I can't even describe it, but it's like wah, and it's like just this envelope of energy around my head and neck and chest,
Mhm.
and that's what I feel. So I don't. Again, it's hard to say. Is it the gold? Like, did the gold just crank me up a notch, and now it's like, let's talk more because your vibration's higher because you're taking gold, or I don't know. So you're right. I do have to take it for a week
Yep.
and then stop for a week. But I'm kind of curious to see what happens when I just sit down and
Right.
let
Yeah.
let spirit just move through me.
Yep. Bonnie saying, "Yeah, light language feels the same way."
Yeah, it's weird when you're like, you just gotta let go and let weird shit come out of your mouth.
Right,
Whether
exactly. Oh
it's
my
light language, or a being speaking English for other people to,
Mhm.
because light language and English is like honestly, the only difference is light language. You don't know what it means consciously, but your energetic field picks up on the meaning and the energy and the intention behind it. But when you're channeling a being that's speaking your language, it's just your consciousness gets it. That's
Mhm.
the difference.
I know, I'm, like, blown away, like, when Bonnie's done it, and, oh my gosh, who was the other lady that does it really well?
Uh, 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 ah!
She was
Oh
on
my God.
the healing events. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Bonnie, help us. Oh my god,
Face
it's
clear
blanking.
as day. Bonnie, what's her
Yes,
name? I can see her face clear as day. She's one of the
just blanked
sweetest
their name.
human beings on the planet. What the frick is her
Yes,
name?
yeah.
And her energy is
Oh,
amazing.
yeah, that's like, yeah,
Uh,
she's an 11.
she's an 11. Yes, I can see her face, and I
Denise.
Denise. God, yes, thank you. She's the one I kept wanting to call Debbie for some because of
Yeah,
her Debbie, because of Debbie. So I kept trying to call her Debbie.
yeah,
Yeah, she's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
She can probably do some awesome light language, and
well,
you
when
friggin' feel it.
and when you well, because we're basically out of time real quick, when you were bringing her on, I'm like, "Oh," something told me that I wanna check her out real quick for some and, some guests, you not that all of them are like that. It's just her for some reason, and it's because of her high vibration.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to check her out. So I remember going to her page, and then she was doing one of her videos, and I'm like, what is happening? And then she started doing the light language, and I'm like, okay, you got me there. But I mean,
Yeah.
now that I've been around it a little bit more, and even Bonnie does, I'm like, oh, okay. But see, that was a conversation that we had, is that I feel like I'm getting a little bit more in touch with the angels and archangels and stuff because, for the longest time I wasn't, not that I disregarded them, but now they're just really starting to be like, now's the time. And that
Yes.
was something we agreed on.
Absolutely.
So now this stuff's starting to like sink in. It feels great. So
Yeah.
I've got feathers all over the place.
All over the place. I know. But you are
It's
absolutely ready for that
mm,
phase.
mm.
That, yeah.
Let's see, what do we got?
Yeah. I
Let's
was
see.
trying to read that.
I tried meditating to connect to my guides. I felt a head change, almost like pressure change inside my head. Both ears were ringing. It's a good sign, or should I go see a doctor?
That's a great sign, Myra. Mayra. Oh crap! I don't want
Yeah,
to say your name wrong. Mayra. It looks like Mayra to me, but it might be.
yeah,
I'm sorry if I'm
yeah.
mutilating.
Well, yeah, I would have said Myra, but
Um, but no, that's a very good sign because usually there is that pressure change before they communicate, and so the ringing in your ears is technically a form of communication
right,
because you're getting a frequency, and so I liken it to a, for lack of better words, but like a download or an upgrade.
correct.
So that's very good. And then
Yes,
it's a sign that you're being tuned to hearing things other than ringing.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's no. You're definitely don't need to. Myra. Okay, so she wrote it in there.
Thank you.
Myra.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Awesome. Yeah. Sorry for any butchering. It's but yeah, no, definitely don't go see a doctor. Just kind of embrace it. Don't feel scared about it, and just kind of accept it. Obviously, I think you'll know if it starts to get to the point where like something's like crazy painful,
you.
and then we're looking at something. But if it's real light and just because when you start to open up and you venture down this, and I say open up because some of us are late bloomers like me, but you open up and you kind of start to experience things that you're not used to,
Yes.
but your subconscious, your soul does understand it, does recognize it, and it'll all work with you.
Yes. And with that frequency, Myra was saying that it's like there's a pressure change. It does feel sort of like there's a vacuum in your ear. And you can tell that's not tinnitus because you don't get that with tinnitus. And usually tinnitus is always
Right,
there.
right, right.
Whereas the ringing and the pressure change is like a temporary thing.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
that's how you can tell it's not a physical thing.
Yep. Okay, Bonnie, language keys and codes, and you seem to feel it more intense when you're ready for the keys and the code to being delivered. So that's probably the case for her.
And for you, I think, Adam, too, in the
Right.
case of with her, it's with she's ready to receive the the the
Right.
frequency, but for you, you're ready to like start working more with the angelic realm on
Right.
top of those beings that you already work with. And so that's
Right.
kind of where I refer to my spiritual entourage that includes everyone.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing is I am not opposed, but to you know e- every everything out there on the other side and other dimensions and things. Everybody's got their spot that's going to help you, whether it's personally or
Mhm.
for you to help others. So there's plenty and they all have roles. I mean, I hate to put it like that, but they all have their special things that it's what they're known for. So
Yes.
when you tap into them, like when we were out having the conversation, I mean, you're like, yes, Raphael does this and Michael
Yeah.
does this. And so they have their special little niches, per se.
Per se, yeah. I think that's a good, you were with Bonnie saying the word keys and codes. And I think when you and I spoke, I said, if you're looking to banish negative and lower energies and entities, the ones that I work with are Yeshua, or how some people call him by his English name, which is Jesus, but
Right.
Yeshua,
Yep.
Melchizedek, and Archangel Michael.
Yep.
And it's like their keys, their energetic frequency works best to go into the lock of clearing negative energy. So it's like there's just a frequency fit for that particular intention. And so the same is true with these other guides. And then you've got your personal ones. You've got
Yes.
your spirit guides, you've got your totems, you've got your ancestors, you've got, star beings that, you've incarnated with on other planets, and all these other and ascended masters that all agreed to be your guides in this lifetime. And so that's kind of your spiritual entourage. Plus, you can call on these other archangels and these other ascended masters and all these other beings that, like, you got friggin' everybody.
You got a whole catalog.
It's true. So I kind of do this whole encompassing thing when I call on people. It's like whoever wants to, but I do this whole encompassing thing.
Oh my God. Jen, real quick. We should write a book. The catalog of angels and ascended masters. You just flip through and just but it's gotta say catalog on the top.
It does. It does.
Not in a mean or
But in a
derogatory
fun
way.
way. And
But
they
yeah,
have a sense of humor. So just
right.
so you all know, they all have, for the most part, a really good sense of humor.
Which is exactly why I am like why we're laughing hysterically now, because they are truly coming through. They're
Yeah.
really making this and it's a point that we're all accepting at this point. So
Yes.
um Myra, thank you. I would love to hear things. I would hear things when I was 15, got scared and anxious. I had Reiki session that told me this was an ASP. Meditating would help. So far, good. I still get a little anxious, but not too much. And it'll subside. Yeah, the anxiousness and stuff will subside as you continue. Definitely keep up the meditation, because
Hmm.
that's going to keep quieting your mind down. And the more you get comfortable with it, even if this was when you were 15, the longer you go, it just gets more comfortable. And so you really don't have really the only time you're getting anxious is just like normal common things in life. Oh, I got to pay the bills, or I got to, do this and that, but
Yeah.
all this other stuff, all these other, vibrations and feelings and, guides and angels and things coming to visit you you're just gonna be like, hey, what's happening? You're gonna treat it just
It's
like you would
true.
be seeing a friend.
And you get, to me, once you get used to it, it becomes like a, ooh, who's coming next? And you start feeling the love for them because they love you so freaking much. We can't conceive of the amount of love they have for us, because human love is limited compared to true soulful love. And so, yes, meditation, breathing exercises, absolutely, Bonnie.
Mhm.
And so you get to a point where you're like, oh, I love you guys. Thank you for visiting me. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you give gratitude back.
Mhm.
And one thing I want to say that is important is to be mindful of your mindset and your perspective, because if you are fearful, there are energies and entities that will target that and want to work with that and will want to crank that up a notch. And so you can inadvertently attract the beings that you don't want by eliciting the emotion that will bring them in. So
Right.
be mindful of your anxiousness. Work with Archangel Michael, work with Yeshua, work with Melchizedek, and be like, hey, can y'all like just be, and my guardian angels and my spiritual entourage, be like my spiritual bodyguards and only allow those beings of love and light in. And then once you feel like you're well flanked by these beings and the light that you're bringing in, you can let your guard down, in that you can release that sense of, what's the word, fear and anxiousness and anxiety, and then you're no longer a magnet for
Mhm.
those things.
Absolutely.
So
Yep. Absolutely. That's awesome. And Debbie, said, it takes a village, and
accurate.
yeah, and it's not just in person. You definitely need your friends and family, but you got everything else around you. So,
Exactly. I usually
so
say I call on my divine aspects. So that's my higher self, my oversoul, and my oversoul means any of my other incarnations that could be happening now. Like I might be incarnated, or at least an aspect or a fractal of me somewhere else now, because everything's happening now, and all of my other lifetimes. So, and then all of my it's like how do I say this, I call on all of my divine aspects, my spiritual entourage, which is my totems, my ancestors, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, did I say that?
yes.
Ascended masters that have assigned themselves to me, star people that have assigned themselves to me, beings that I have no idea of but they're there,
Right.
and all other high vibrational beings of love and light from all realms, dimensions, and star systems.
Yes.
is that not all encompassing or friggin' what?
It's the whole kit and caboodle.
Right.
It's all right there in that little bowl.
Yep, exactly. Not that you can't call beings by name, but
Right, right, yeah.
I just like, everybody.
But it is. I mean, I do the same thing. I have a whole different prayer that I go through, but the same thing. I do call them out, but I've been because I've been adding more to it. I'm now starting to kind of do this in groups. So
Yeah.
I I'll probably get to the point where maybe there's too much, and then I'll just be doing the same thing where I'm just going to say, okay, all of you right here, thank you.
That's why I did that. My list got so long that my intro of who I was calling in was like, take out, like, God, I gotta go to sleep or I gotta do this thing. I just gotta get y'all in here. And so I had to figure out a way to call on everybody without listing all 30,000 of them.
Yeah, yeah, you can only do that so much, but hey,
Right. Soup to nuts. You frickin' bet. Yes. Soup to nuts, Debbie.
that's fun.
Soup to nuts.
But all right, well, I have held everybody up long enough, so we're gonna get out of here. So I cannot thank Jennifer Passavant for hanging out this morning, waking up early, looking lovely as ever.
Thank
No
you.
matter what she says, it's true. And glad that we could kind of share because it was to me and Jen feels the same way. It's the things that have been going on with us for the last week, or I mean, we've had a little things, but this last week has been unbelievable. And so,
Oh,
how could you not take notice of this and even then try to share it? I mean, I guess we should have wrote it down from top to bottom as it was happening, but we didn't know how this was going to play out. So
but I think honestly, every day this week, we've
Mhm.
had something.
Every day.
And oftentimes more than one a day, like more than one number sequence or a number sequence in the
Yep.
hawk or whatever.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been awesome.
It is, and we'll see. We will keep everybody posted as the next week happens because if
Yeah,
we're still hitting it. Well, then Jen and I are going to have to sit down and really work this out because
yeah. Like what the hell's going? I mean,
I
we know that they're telling us something about our connection, that there's a
yeah,
connection, but what are we supposed to do with
do
it?
with it
That's
right.
what we're waiting to see.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So well, we all will keep you guys posted. So keep a tabs on that. Other than that, like I said, definitely check out Jen. Let me see, pull this out real quick. Make sure you go to her website. There it is on your screen, angelenergyhealing.net. And then don't forget to go over to her Facebook page, Jennifer Passavant, Spiritual Life Coach, Angel Channel. Make sure you do that. And then pop over here real quick. Make sure you go and like their Hearts of Change Collective. I wanted to say that backwards.
Hard to collect
Hearts
change.
of Collective Change. Yeah, why not? It works. It's all the words are there.
Same difference.
Right. Yeah. Might come up as somebody else, but hey.
I mean,
So
we are changing the collective, and it's a collective change. So
yeah, it could go both ways. Yeah. So
you won't
uh,
find the page, but
right, right. Yeah, you got to look for that logo right there. That helps.
it does. It does.
But thank you again, Jen. Appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. And yes, I will be back. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll probably have a small little post tomorrow with the kind of a little bit of a synopsis of what happens tonight. So you guys will hear a little bit about the investigation. Again, can't get details, can't tell you exactly where and stuff like that, but I will give you something tomorrow. And then yeah, have a great week. And I will be back again on Saturday. And I cannot remember, but I don't know if it's February or March. There may be a weird Saturday where I might have to start a little earlier or I might have to just cancel. So there's a little bit of a mid-morning thing. So I got to plan that out, but that just came up yesterday. So you guys will I'll keep you posted, but I think that's end of February or March. So doesn't matter right now, but future knowledge. So with that said, thank you so much for being here today. I'm Adam, the Black Swamp Medium. All my love, light, and peace to each and every one of you. Again, have a great week, and thank you so much for watching. See you soon.